Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Eve. This is Everyday Artist, and welcome. And this is Rogue. Say hi, Rogue. Rogue participated in the Jingle Ball with me, didn't you? She was with me in a couple of the stitching groups in her normal spot, sitting. She sits on top of these cushions behind my back and puts her little head right here. Looks kind of like a boa. Anyway, and then she got disgusted with me because I wasn't paying attention to her really. I mean, I was talking and stitching and just, I had such a good time. Now, I left maybe 8:30. It went on, but in order, I had it on my laptop, and I was working on the gingerbread house, and now it's on my tablet. And so the laptop's here, the tablet's there. Like, I can't sit like this any longer. And I did work for a little while on other things, and I'll show you. But it was just a lot of fun. Now, I did the gingerbread house class. I'll show that to you in a minute. But I have to say, I just absolutely loved the class. She was, the comments that were being put in, she responded to them. Anyway, I just thought it was wonderful. I really enjoyed that. Now, I didn't go to any of the meet and greets. I'm not sure that if I went to a retreat in person, I would do that. Mostly because I don't really have anything to say. Okay. As you may recall, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Star Wars too, and Lord of the Rings, but mostly Star Trek. And I have gone to quite a few Star Trek functions. I went on Star Trek cruises. I went to conventions. I went to a charity dinner. And I was in a fan club for one of them, and I went to the room where he was just talking to people, smaller group of people. Very much along the lines of a meet and greet. Now, at the charity dinner, they had several of the Star Trek actors there, and they sat them at round tables around in the dinner, and you got placed on one of those tables. And I think it was Rene Auberginois that was on our table. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure it was him. And at the time he was living in Paris. And at that time there were quite a few fires in the rural areas of France. And the governments were, that has nothing to do with the people. Yes, here we elect our president, but we still have no control over his mouth. And we elect our representatives, but in theory, they vote for what we want as a state, as a what have you. This is only a theory, you know, because once they're there, you hope that they're going to do what the majority of the people in the state want you to do, but you can't really control that. And they may or may not agree with what you want, you know. You may not be in the majority. So you have no real control over what the heads of state are going to talk about, what they're going to say, that kind of thing. And it's the same for every country, you know. They may or may not love their leaders, but they still have no control over what they're doing. That's why all of the actions against everyday Russians bothered me in the Ukraine-Russian war, like Etsy not allowing people from Russia to have an Etsy shop. They're not the ones that decide whether or not they invade, whether or not they agree with it. It has nothing to do with who they are personally. But at that time, there was some kind of back and forth between France and the US. I don't remember what it was, because it didn't concern me. and that I say that as not as a person who doesn't pay attention to politics in general, because I do. I know that I need to pay attention to who I'm voting for. Whether or not they win is not the issue, right? So I don't remember what it was about, but they were sniping at each other. So we're sitting at the round table with Renee, and we're talking, and somebody mentioned the fires. That, I mean, they were taking people's homes and all that, these fires. And somebody at the table said, well, that's what they deserve. I'm like, nobody deserves to have a fire burn their house down. Nobody deserves that, you know. Nobody. Anyway, later on, I was in an autograph line, and you know, because he really couldn't say anything, being in the position he was, Rene Auberginois. And I got an autograph from him, and he actually kissed me on the top of my head. He was very tall. I'm very short. I was like, it had nothing to do with an actor I like living in that country. It had to do with being a human being and caring about other human beings. And ultimately, I think that's the important thing, right? When I went in that small thing with the actor, the meet and greet kind of thing, I didn't have anything to say. I just listened to him talk, right? And that's when I discovered that, now I still like that actor, but that's when I discovered that I'm not really good at that kind of thing. So I did not participate in the meet and greets. I went into a couple of them and just kind of listened for a few minutes and then left. Lurked for lack of a better word. And I enjoyed the stitching rooms. I only really went into 2. No, I went into 3. And I did the speed whip thing. I did it once, but it was such a short amount of time, and I understand, you know, but people I'd love to be able to talk to again. And there was a button down there where you could connect and try to, but it goes by so fast. And by the time you decide you want to do that, you're like, wait. So theoretically, they're going to have more, and I think I will go ahead and participate in those if I'm able. Rob, please don't lick the couch. Why are you licking the couch? Stop. Okay, but ultimately, it was a fantastic experience. I really enjoyed it. They did a lot of work to put that on for us, and I think it was great. And they had tons and tons of designers there. Some I've never heard of. Some I've never really looked at their offerings. And I went into every single shop and looked at what they had. I did download a lot of free patterns, which I haven't even like printed or anything. So maybe by next week I'll have something if they have a picture. This is what I was working on, TinyModernist Gingerbread House. Hers was done on 32 count, I believe, and it was like this big when it was done. Really cute. And in the class, people were throwing out little ideas because she has 4 other houses like that. And I almost bought them, but realistically, I probably wouldn't stitch them because I really like the gingerbread house. But the Christmas Village thing is not something that appeals to me. But the houses are so cute. If you have not looked at her little houses, they're adorable. And people were saying, make this kind of house and make this kind of shop and make it, you know, for like a whole village. And she was actually responding to some of those, and you know, who knows, she may or may not do that. But one gentleman said that he wanted to make it where you could lift the top part off and make it into a gift box. And that's because it has a bottom. That's actually a pretty cool idea, right? And but he wanted to hinge the lid, you know, so, and people kept talking about that back and forth and, you know, different things you could do. And so many people had already finished theirs. Some stuck buttons up here, you know, or pins. Just adorable. Just absolutely adorable. And I had an idea that maybe if I can find the right size of a music box with the right music on it, I could put a music box inside. If this is able to come off, I can take the music box and, you know, start it and then put the lid back on. Some people were talking about putting potpourri in it, and potpourri has oils. So you would have to find a way to put it in there where the oils wouldn't get on the stitching. But just so many creative people. It was really fun. Now, did I finish my stitching on this? I did not. I tried, but I was too busy talking and having fun. Okay, so as you recall, this is the front, and of course mine is not going to be tiny like hers. It's going to be about that height, which is fine for up on a you know, mantle or something. And this is the side. Now, I did not realize until I was taking the class, because I didn't really look at the other side. If you look, let's see if you can see it. There is shading on this side of the gingerbread guy. slightly darker, not a lot darker, slightly darker. Let's see if I can get that to show up. No, it won't. Maybe you can see it. Anyway, the other side is not exactly the same. The shading is on this side. So you put it together where the shading, I think, is toward the back. Fortunately, I can go look at the video again. But where the shading is toward the back, and it makes a difference with the lighting, I guess, on it, to the where it looks like the lighting is coming a certain way. And I think that's really nice. You can kind of see here. Here's the shading. So that's way cool. So I finished the stitching on the back. However, there's a lot of back stitching that I have to do. And I didn't notice until I went to go do the back stitching that the pattern keeper had cut this off. And so that whole little top part was not there. On the front one, it had it. I don't know. So, and it's in the pattern. I mean, I went and looked at the PDF and the pattern is correct. So I don't know why I did that. Probably something that I did. I don't know. Because if the pattern doesn't fit exactly in what their module, is, you have to make decisions as to how it's going to look. And I guess maybe I put the wrong ones. So I have back stitching and one more side. And honestly, after the class, I'm like, that really isn't going to take that much to finish it. So I may buy the items to finish it. I have them already, I do, but I may just go ahead and get them so that I can finish it, sooner. Yeah, there was something I wanted to say about that, but so I decided not to work on I Hear Bells while I was doing that, because it's 32 count and I didn't want to have to really super concentrate on anything. But I was stitching on this, and I'm doing the drum in the back. I was putting in, the trees were already here, and the roof of this house. I put in the bottom of this house, and then I was gonna put this in. And I figured out why I was having so much trouble figuring out this. And it was because this bottom half of this bell was off by half a stitch. So I'm not through putting it all back in, but I'm close to putting it all back in. So I haven't worked on it a lot. Now that the Jingle Ball is over, hopefully I will get more done on that. Yes, that's Rogue snoring, if you can hear her. She was asleep before without snoring, but then she decided to snore again. I don't guess you decide to snore. So one of the things I pulled out when I was tired of, or not tired of, when I had to charge my tablet, couldn't work on it. I think I have the pattern printed out. I think I have the pattern printed out, but I've just been doing it on the tablet, so I'm not sure. Hey, you okay? Anyway, I pulled out plant pots, which is my other WIPGO call for this month. And I was about this far on the black cat. Hey, stop. Okay. So I got the head done. So I have one more over here. But I think I'll go ahead and get this completely done with the cactus and his face, and then move on to do this one. So I don't know how much of that I'll get done this month, but you know. And Stitchin' Mommy's Temperature Turtles. I'm on the last turtle, which means I have a lot of work to do before the end of the year. So I was gonna do some of the back stitching lines on October. But I started them on November. That's okay. They need to be done, right? But I wasn't even done with November. I had one more day. But I was like, oh no. And then I started December. You can see it's still pretty warm. It's been low 80s, high 70s. And I keep wondering, are we gonna have winter? Now, winter here does not look like it looks other places, but you know, you have to wear a sweater or something all day, not just in the morning. You might want a coat for the mornings, you know. Yeah. I heard somewhere that it's supposed to be colder this week. Apparently there's an evil wind blowing. That's my words, not theirs. Oh, look at that. On Friday, it's supposed to be down to 69. Yeah. So I'll believe it when I see it. In the mornings, it's still very cold. But, you know, by noon, you need to wear short sleeves and shorts. So that, you know, I miss 4 seasons, real seasons, you know, spring, summer, fall, winter. We don't really have those types of seasons here. But I miss having those. And yet, in order to have those, you need to live in an area where it gets really cold. And I'm good. I think about it and go, I'll take it. So I know that these are not brand new patterns, but they were marked way down in TinyModernist's shopping area. And I picked up Winter Deer. This apparently was in the ornament book last year at the Jingle Ball. And my sister goes, oh, I have that in the I'm like, I don't care. Because I'm not gonna go look through her patterns to decide what she does and does not have before I decide what I want. If we're like at the attic together and I see something and she says, I'm pretty sure I have that, then maybe I won't buy it. But it was really inexpensive, and I said, I like it, I'm gonna buy it. I don't want the whole book. They had an ornament book, and I'm sure that the ornaments in it were quite nice. There was somewhere where you could go look at them, but that's okay. I have enough patterns. I have way too many patterns. And then the other one, I had been eyeing this on her website for some time because I love narwhals. So Narwhal Biscornu, I love the fact that he's wearing a Santa hat. It's just very, very, very cute. So, and apparently she has this one too, but she hasn't done it. She has, and my sister bought a lot more patterns this time too. The number of patterns that my sister has is unbelievable, unbelievable. But she'll go, I'm not sure if I have that or not. And she will accidentally buy something twice because she doesn't remember, or it's in her what is it called? It's a magazine with the name won't come to me. Something or other in Primitive Stitcher. That's what it's called. I don't know. It has punch needle patterns and cross stitch patterns. And she does look at them all when she gets them. That when she gets a new one, she looks through everything. But you know, she doesn't remember every single pattern in there. So many times she already has it in one of those magazines, and she buys it again. But yeah, a lot of the patterns I was interested in and purchasing from other designers, she was buying them, and I wasn't going to do that on purpose. They're not something that I need to stitch immediately, and if she's going to stitch it, you know, I won't necessarily want to. I'm going to stitch this little deer, try to get it done for next Christmas. Is it just me, or does he look like Bambi? Anyway, that's everything. I hope you guys are having a very happy time in your December. Getting ready for the holidays is either very hard or very fun. Depends on what stage of life you're in sometimes. I mean, for us, it's going to be missing my mom. She died in December of 2020. And, you know, my brother can't be here with us, you know, that kind of thing. So, you guys have a good time, be safe, and happy stitching.